What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I've got one from RLJ Entertainment, and this is Pilgrimage. This is a story about a group of monks who are protecting this holy relic that was involved in the stoning of what seems like it was like the first person to really embrace Christianity in the region. Um, that's what the movie opens with, is with a guy getting stoned, not in the fun way, in the very getting hit with rocks way. And then it flashed forward to when like Christianity is more accepted, and the Pope has called upon them to bring this holy relic, which was the stone that was used to kill the guy, and I guess it has some kind of religious powers. And so that's the task of these monks, is to deliver it. The troop that's kind of sent out to protect it is an old monk, a young monk, and then this kind of guy that's called the Mute, who's played by John Bernthal, and he just, kind of is the muscle of the group, or the protector. And they start to think that there really is a lot of power to this rock, because they keep getting like stopped by these different forces, like savage woodsmen and Normans and all this other stuff. And this guy just like comes to life and just like annihilates all these enemies. So they start to think that he's like been weaponized by the holiness that surrounds this rock. And the rest of the movie is just them transporting it, and then how they each kind of deal with what happens along the way. Some of them have their faith like emboldened by what happens, and then others, question their faith because of the things that are happening. This movie is kind of marketed like it's like a Game of Thrones, Braveheart, kind of one of those new wave period pieces where it's a lot of blood and action and violence, and that's just not the case. This movie does have a few scenes, battle scenes that are kind of cool. I like it actually because they're kind of smaller scale, so there's less people involved. It's more personal and it's more like immediate, which I liked. But I do like giant epic battles as well. But I just thought these were pretty fun to watch too. The bad part about it is it has really, really terrible CGI blood. There's a scene where Bernthal runs a sword through a guy's face, and it comes out. It looks like a sticker. It doesn't even look like it looks awful. And the rest of the blood is pretty terrible as well. There's a little bit of practical gore, but not much. There's no nudity. It's just a bunch of dudes chilling in the woods with a giant rock. Dialogue is what it is. It's not terribly written, but it's very dull. This movie has a Lord of the Rings vibe at times, because there's a lot of walking, a lot of nature scenes, a lot of passage of time and distance scenes. I'm sure there are people who will appreciate that, but for me, the pace was just way too slow. And I don't mind a deliberate pace as long as it leads to something, or it's using that time that's maybe slow, but it's building exposition and building towards something else. And that just doesn't happen here. I just thought the pace was way too slow for, what eventually happens. John Bernthal is actually really good in it, though, and I'm not a huge fan of his, but he does really well in this. He has one line of dialogue, and the rest of the time he just has to emote to convey what's going on with him, and he does a pretty good job with that. I was also impressed with Tom Holland is in this. I hated him in Spider-Man Homecoming. I hated that movie, so I just kind of written him off, but he has kind of a decent role in this one, and definitely shows that he's better than the material in Spider-Man Homecoming. So it does have some good performances. I did like the costumes. I thought it had a good feel to it, but for me it's just too slow, and it's overly long, and just not enough happens. I'm definitely not an ADD person. Like, I have patience when it comes to movies, but I want the time that I invest to lead to something, and unfortunately it just doesn't in this case. That's not to say that I thought it was a bad movie. You just need to go in expecting that it's a drama, not an action, Braveheart type of movie. So, if you're a fan of John Bernthal, or you just like the idea of kind of a slower paced, more intimate period story, this is a pretty decent in that regard, but it's definitely not an action-packed, epic, like Braveheart or Game of Thrones or something like that. The Blu-ray's from RLJ Entertainment. It's a newer movie, so it's fine. The transfer is really good looking, really clear and crisp, and this movie has a lot of really cool visuals, like outdoor landscapes, and just some really cool nature shots that add a lot to the movie, and they look great in this transfer. It's got 5 behind-the-scenes featurettes, a photo gallery, and a bunch of the poster artwork. So it's a good disc. It's reasonably priced. It's just going to come down to, A, if you like historical kind of period pieces like this, and B, if you have the patience to deal with one that's a little bit overly long and very slow-paced and short on action. I don't know. I would recommend it as long as you're patient and you like these kind of historical period pieces. Otherwise, it might be a little bit too dull and boring. And it is a little bit too demanding, in that it doesn't really provide much for your time investment. You know, things don't really come together all that well into anything all that memorable. That's Pilgrimage. Ultimately, I don't know. I'm middle of the road on it. So that's it. I know it's not a very helpful review, but hopefully you can get something out of it. If you like this review, please just check out my website, markfusion.com. I've got hundreds of other reviews there, hundreds and hundreds of them, new ones every single day, 7 days a week, usually at least 2 or 3, sometimes more. If you can also follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at markfusion. You can also, if you want to support my work beyond this channel and my site, you can check out my Patreon at markfusion and get exclusive content there, as well as just help me accumulate more movies, because I always need more movies. That's it. I really appreciate you watching these videos. If you like them, please do drop a sub. It would greatly help me out. YouTube is very inconsistent with the way they deal with small content creators, so a sub is definitely a way you can directly support me. That is huge, huge, huge in building my channel and my site. I genuinely appreciate you watching these videos. Hopefully I'll see you soon.